Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Killer 7. So I took like a day off, so I'm a little bit forgetful as far as where we are in the story. Yeah, this really is not a game that you can take that much time off because it kind of goes all over the place and it is just such a wild story. Anyways, I think we're out trying to get the windmill going with the wind ring, and then we've got seems like a lot going on in this foyer, and then we've got probably a puzzle boss fight to deal with. Um, I said many episodes ago that I think we want to go this way. There was a warning for violent content in this game, and yet not a warning for the adult content, which has popped up here and there in this game. I guess that's not exactly true, because it does at the very beginning when you load the game talk about mature content. I guess it's just that when you're not spelling it out, and let's see. Yeah, this is the way we're supposed to go. Man, that guy moved fast. This is another example of why you really can't take a break. Yeah, when this game came out, I guess the general idea of mature content just did describe everything. And nowadays you would very much expect that to be fully spelled out and say, instead of saying mature content, you would say at least adult content, if not straight up sexual content. Like, mature content to me nowadays means there's talk of like terrorism and like kind of more, let's see if we can hit this head from that angle. This is a really great example of where the multiple level stairs does not really work.
Doesn't it?
Is anybody else coming?
Hurts, doesn't it?
You really have to have
Doesn't
these
it?
rolling towards you.
Hurts,
And
doesn't
there's
it?
not really like a spawner anywhere, so it seems like it's just either constantly going to respawn in this area for no reason, or it just wanted to do 3 waves on you. Yeah.
Hurts, doesn't it?
Yep. And I guess at this point I just have to use the wind ring here, and this is going to start the windmills. Now, I don't know what starting these windmills really does, and I felt like it was implied that these windmills were just paintings anyways. Although, in all fairness, I guess the entire area does just kind of feel like it is... The entire game feels like it's a dream, and it's pretty surreal. But yeah, when you looked at the map, it seemed to imply that this entire wall was painted and fake. Right. Turn around. And then off we go. Back this way. So. Where's... Yeah, you can't even like turn around. And because I didn't have the stamina ring on at that time, it was 2 hits to kill you. Remember, I'm playing at like the easiest difficulty. This game could get really brutal at any point.
I'm a cleaner.
Yeah, and that could certainly changed my experience with this game quite a bit too. So we go this way, and then we go this way, and he can't have a stamina thing. So if they decide to shoot the rollers at me now and kill Garcia, I don't know if that isn't just straight up game over and you have to load from a level.
I can feel no remorse when seeing a dead body. To me, it's merely cold, rotting flesh.
While we're here, let's look at the TV. We probably have enough thick blood now to finish her completely. So let's see if we can do that. No. Not enough to get her all the way to level 5 for everything, but yes, enough to get Waiver up to level 5. Would speed have really helped there? I don't really think so. There still feels like there's a possibility of some other ability to unlock, which could drastically change things, like just reducing the amount of damage you take, or like having kind of a shield system. I thought that may have been something, like where the first hit is free. This is Trevor's house, that's what it's labeled as. Is Trevor the artist? I thought Trevor was the guy we were seeing as a ghost this whole time. Hi. Well, obviously, we need to go this way first. We've got 3 different things that seem to all require the fire ring. And this is probably going to be just like completely useless, but let's go through this door and just see where this takes us. So this was a shortcut to the church front. They could only be opened in that one place, but you really wouldn't know that. Blue, yellow. This was a shortcut to this area, and I do believe in this area this was the one where we never actually entered this save room, but we also know there's not going to be anything interesting in the save room, so it's just kind of no point for that. And there's no point in waiting around for the heavenly smiles there to attack us. Now, I guess if we hadn't collected all the pieces, this would be an interesting experiment on having a more integrated kind of open world experience. Let's see, this just takes us back this way. Which really isn't much. And so it's blue, yellow, red. But the map really isn't, even with these shortcuts, still a integrated place. It's not one big map with sections that are connected. What you would want here, as it's depicted on the map, is if you took each one of these and you cut and pasted them all together, and then you had specific sections kind of wrapping around other sections and in and out of other sections, so it feels more like a square, but the actual loops of which doors are unlocked and which doors aren't would make it actually more linear or snake-like. Of course, we don't have to deal with any of that we can look at Trevor's house. It's a special kind of lock. Right. Let's go ahead and put our stamina ring back on. Although, arguably, maybe even a power ring would help. Interesting, this guy is in silhouette and you can't see his face. Really struggling to get that in the right place. Okay. So we had these kind of like different Power Ranger like characters that they were making a comic book on. And then that was happening in the real world. So apparently there's no challenge whatsoever to that. We did, I think, need the silver piece as a key also, but you just had to collect each of the items. So not really much of a challenge there. Not sure what the specific personality is in this room. I guess we will find out soon enough. Alright. So we've got Heavenly Smiles, Heavenly Smiles, Heavenly Smiles. Alright. Let's just play as Master Smith. If you're gonna have that many people. That was a pretty easy just combo there. It do seem like they are just falling over. Now, I don't know if this is specifically so we have a lot of thin blood, or if this is something else. Alright, let's go to Kade here. That doesn't feel like that's a spawner. And again, we just have something here that's really reacting by not reacting. Right. So this may require Dan's super shot. Just get closer. It looks basically like a woman or man with their legs spread open. There's just nothing here.
Collateral shot.
And that immediately just jumps into one of these kind of low frame rate, kind of herky-jerky there, flat 2D animations as it pans.
It's Dan Smith.
Probably because that's...
Man.
Yo, how's it going with next week's story, huh?
Whoa, this is unbelievable. You really came? I didn't
This
think I
probably
had such
is...
power.
You're one lucky guy, you know that?
It's probably like
what happens to
15 frames a second.
Right now?
I already wrote it. I wrote the story, so you'll die. Hey, it's almost time for their appearance. The appearance of heroes. You better watch out. These handsome men are tough. Trust me, I know. Because I wrote them. Kill Dan! Give him the old handsome wink stuff! Handsome wink! Handsome wink! Get down!
I suggest you don't get too involved. Unless, of course, you want to end up like this fellow here.
You think you guys can kill me?
I didn't know Killer7 had a sense of humor.
Hmm.
It's showdown, Dan Smith. Here's the win.
So are we gonna even have a boss fight here at all? Or is it just a cutscene?
Bloody psychopaths, Killer7. Prepare to die. We are the Punishing Rangers, the handsome men.
Although two of them are
But your stupid series ends today.
women.
You all at once.
Noticeably, they have high heels.
Fine. Let's settle this once and for all. 7 versus 7, fair and square. The place will be Broadway, New York, at 0400. Wait, I'm not finished with you yet.
There's like 8 of them,
Comic book.
not 7. On the screen there was literally 8 guys, but okay. I guess one will not fight. And so now we're going to part 2, and I guess part 2 may very well just be a boss rush, as it were. They killed the artist, so obviously the artist wasn't solely manifesting these superheroes or completely controlling them, because if it was, then they would now be they would have just disappeared or been completely wildly out of control. Catatonic. So we come into Harman's room. This time definitely seems like it is just a save. SWAT. Yeah, now is not the time where they really want to remind you of the bad Samantha. Okay, well, then I guess what we do here is we are, well, I guess I overwrote alter ego when I saved, didn't I? Let's just put a save here, but yeah. It'd be funny if that screaming was more like a kind of exercise sound in Japanese, because I know some of the Japanese like rituals and exercisings sometimes do have people screaming in weird ways that sounds weird to foreigners, certainly, but I don't think that's what that's supposed to mean. There still is really no explanation as to how we're capable of moving so fast. The military standoff, the skyscraper, Broadway, assignment 39, duel with the handsome man, the punishing rangers. So there was kind of no point in hiding the face of the artist when he was just going to be killed in a cutscene.
They're coming.
Oh, and I guess that guy is straight up blindfolded. I didn't realize that. There's still 8 people being depicted here.
It's the handsome man. Awesome.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is a 100% cutscene. And see, this is a great example of Suda 51 being inspired by Sentai Power Rangers type shows when he was a kid, and really wanting to make an homage of that, and that playing fairly well for the time that this would have been released for a Japanese audience, and
Did you see that?
it probably would have paired pretty well even in the Western world, since Power Rangers made the Sentai characters very popular. Actually, it's 8 versus 8.
Fitting for the Killer7, don't you think?
Considering how you have Harman also. And see, if this was part of the animated series, this would be weird. His lips aren't even
Let's get it on.
moving then. Okay. And obviously there's a interest here also around, I can't do anything other than go forward, I guess. Animating like Times Square, New York. So we have a
First
red.
matchup, Harman Smith versus Handsome Red.
Not giving any hint at all. Is this guy going to shoot at me at the same time I shoot at him? It seems like that is the case. And that this is literally just going to break into a balanced thing. You have this weird like red and blue at the bottom of the screen. We're a little too zoomed in to be able to look around. This is, I assume, not really a one-for-one Times Square comparison. If it were, then right about here would be a fairly thin building. I guess maybe that is that. But also, you really have very few cars going through Times Square these days. So am I supposed to be targeting anything at all? Clearly we know Handsome Red is not going to need the wheelchair. So I guess the solution here would be to shoot the gun. Because if I shot here and he shot me in the head, we'd just both die. He's not moving his gun while I move mine. That would have made a little bit more sense. Interesting. It just worked.
Next matchup, Kun Smith versus Handsome White Pearl. Hajime.
And now we can't move at all. The thing here is we don't have targeted charge shots either. Let's just... I don't know if we're supposed to be shooting the guns or if we're just supposed to hit the guy. Well, I guess maybe it's just don't miss with the other characters. This could be very much a case of, do you have your power up? Do you have your waiver up?
Our third
So,
matchup is
I don't know why I
Smith
lost there.
versus Handsome Gold.
I don't know if that isn't just supposed to happen. Yeah, Hajime, I think, is something you probably would have said in sumo wrestling. So I don't know, it could be that there's a time limit on this. This could be that you're supposed to shoot the guns out of the hands of people, which is going to get more and more difficult. This could be mostly you're just supposed to not miss ever and not waver. There's no Heavenly Smile critical points coming up in the scans. Like, and my health is really low here, and I can't pause the menu and bring up any stamina rings or anything like that. I don't know if I'm really taking damage and dying either.
You're fucked.
So did I do a bunch of damage there, or did I just avoid armor? And they put the lady versus lady. Alright. So we got a big reaction when we shot her in the lips. Big reaction there. But also big reaction there. And see, Kade has the zoom more than anybody else. So, if she was gonna crit lock anybody, it would have been Kade, and she has the highest power at level 5 too. So it does just seem like it's gonna be a trade-off here, and that this is all just a joke. I mean, in this case, let's just go with speed. Now with speed, he's moving around a lot, so it's fairly easy to miss here. But I don't think we're like figuring this out much. If there's some trick here. So now we are 2 behind.
6th matchup, Dan Smith versus Handsome Blue.
So the thing I could think here is that this lower stomach portion might be what you're supposed to target. But no, it must be the head.
Mask Smith versus Handsome Purple.
Yep, we start with full health here. So I'm just going for headshots, even with Mask Smith, which there's just like nothing specifically about these poses that scream to me you would be able to shoot your enemy and not get shot yourself. Yeah. I have no clue. But see, obviously I got the numbers too high there. That's weird. And so now I'm in some kind of Ultimate Wrestling Extra mode. Wow.
They know who's the strongest.
That's weird.
Final matchup, Garcian Smith versus Handsome Pink.
So we had two things there. Well, this is weird. Just going straight to a cutscene now. Like, we had two people die and nothing happens.
Her world of games and the real world coexist as one.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Killer Garcian. My name's Love.
How do you know my name?
Because I write the story, mister.
I don't follow.
Here's the thing. I'm working for Electro Online Inc. I create propaganda using media, you see?
You're saying that they're all Electro Online's advertisements.
That's why I'm gonna bring them down. I'll make them pay for Trevor's death.
Can you really do it?
I'll make sure justice is done. But in my book, though, you be sure to check it out in next week's issue. I'm really glad we met, Mr. Killer Garcian.
The pleasure's all mine. Love, your passion is inspiring to us all.
Thank you. I'll be watching you, mister.
So she's the writer of the comic books where the animator was Trevor. And she's taking down the company. Wow, this is so blurry. And the way these characters are being depicted is way different. We may have just hit the credits, that'd be weird, but I don't think so. Thank you for playing Game End Capcom. That would be really, really weird. If we weren't going to get back to Angel in the Heavenly Smiles section. I still don't get why Master Smith evolved again. Master Smith has evolved twice in this game, where none of the other characters really have evolved in any way. And I don't get why specifically he would have evolved into getting this extra strong thing. Unmask your heart, then show us your smile, it says. I have to make sure we read all of this. Continue to smile. Yeah, very weird. Just like a totally out of nowhere, the story goes incredibly weirder than it has been so far. Yeah, I can't really agree with it. Particularly playing this on PC and seeing how terrible the flat 2D animations are. And it definitely kind of feels like the flat 2D animations are just there to try to make some sense around what is otherwise just a very insane collection of gameplay ideas and concepts, just to kind of rush the game together and have it in some kind of sellable state. I'm also noticing on this TV it says ISZK. I wonder if that was the name of the amusement park also, or if there's maybe even a connecting thread hidden here in that ISZK stands for something we've seen multiple times in the background and just not paid attention to. So now we're at target 5. We started at target 0, so this is the 6th level particularly, and there's seemingly enough room for one more level after this. Yeah. Honestly, at this point, we're probably past the halfway point, and we were even in the last level. And that definitely looks like the moon now. So I would like to things to start to try and make some sense instead of getting crazier. So that looks like that is our GIMP guy being forced to jump off the roof, or choosing to jump off the roof while someone else is just standing there. I think probably being forced. I don't think that many GIMP people would want to be found dead in their GIMP outfits intentionally. So I kind of wonder if this is a flashback, or if that was a flashback, or if that's just yet another reference to bondage, sadism, masochism. I guess technically that guy wasn't in a gimp suit, so you probably wouldn't call him a gimp guy.
Hello, Mr. Smith. The election is drawing near. Have you decided on your vote? If you haven't, please let the Republic Party make the most of your precious vote. Thank you.
It's the exact same message each time. But he does seem to be eating different things and drinking things, and the fact that he's eating and drinking things at all is kind of interesting. They still have the same screaming and no ability to transform to like Coyote, who would be able to open this. And here we can see Bad Samantha seems to have her pants unbuttoned and just be either dead or laying there. She kind of looks dead. Maybe high. Interesting. And then we just walked right out of the room. We can now go into the Forbidden Room. Or nothing else. So it looks like we're going to get a twist here and a surprise. And yeah, maybe Samantha is just another person who was killed. Just another fantasy personality. We can see Angel and Harman playing chess.
Coincidence. Check. This time, the game is mine.
Is this a memory or is this happening right now?
Why not? There once was a young man who had a promising future. The center back position was his to keep, and no one could take that away from him. Any play was a fair play. No one blew the whistle on him. Everybody.
This obviously can't be in the trailer.
Not to mention his campus sweetheart. Ooh, she was something. They were the perfect couple. He graduated from Columbia with an MBA. His opportunity was infinite. He could do whatever he wanted.
I have no idea who he's talking about, but he may be talking about some famous, some kind of famous football player, American football player.
Then one day it happened. That moment when the subconscious rises to the surface. Well, the way it triggered was very simple. It happened when his mother came onto him one night. As if the spirit of Jack the Ripper had taken over his body, he stabbed and stabbed until you couldn't tell who she was. You know what I think? An angel whispered into his ear. The angel gave him the extra courage he needed to give her the divine retribution she deserved.
Sure she wasn't the Hell's Angel?
I'm pretty sure she only had good intentions.
You really are a villain.
I had nothing to do with it, but I must admit, my memory has become a bit misty these days.
And they're terrified about seeing Garcian there. Which that's weird. Well, we can't go back in that room, nor are we having any kind of conversation around that. So yeah, I don't know who he was talking about there, but it doesn't seem like it would have been one of the personalities or anything. It would be funny if it turned out that Garcian killed both Harman and Angel, and they are also just fantasies, but like this whole game seems so surreal that you have to just kind of assume everything is a fantasy.
The remnant parties have started making their move.
I felt a disturbance in the air. What's gonna
I
happen?
like these cutscenes better,
Terrorism.
just because they stick closer
kind of terrorism Japan will engineer.
to what the main storyline is.
Capable of damage devastating enough to shake the foundation of the United States.
I need you to fly to Philly, right? A former aide to the leader of the UN party has information. He goes by the name Matsuken. Okay, he's staying at the Union Hotel. Now find him.
Who is he?
Kenjiro Matsuoka. He's the only guy remaining that belonged to the UN party. Now, he's the leader of 10 million secret Japanese members that are scattered around the world. He is a major force.
10 million?
What do you think they're capable of?
If they gathered in one state and organized their votes as one large block vote, then
they could win the seat of a state. It's gonna be a wild game, because everyone's gonna want a piece of Matsuken.
The master has disappeared.
Yeah, Garci. About that. Look, I need to tell you something real important.
Interesting.
Go ahead, lay it on.
Let's see, how should I, Okay, 30 years ago, you and Harman...
Pretty slow to get out of that car if you're gonna have it let the guy get shot multiple times. Well, this is all weird and unexpected. It seems like the general idea is that we're assuming Japan did get missile struck way earlier in the story, but there is still enough Japanese who weren't in Japan at the time, and just Japanese in general, maybe even a few survived in Japan, that they could become a revenge-seeking terrorist type organization. It definitely feels like that guy was gonna... the crusade at Hotel Union. It definitely seems like he was gonna reveal that Harman is either dead or Harman killed Garcian. I would lean more towards the idea that Harman killed Garcian, and all the personalities are people who killed...
Actually, I'm meeting someone.
Who were killed by Harman.
Oh, Mr. Smith. We've been expecting you. The top floor. Please use the elevator in the back.
Now, last time we saw any kind of service person...
I remember all the faces of our guests. Even your bag, sir.
Huh?
So there's another ghost. It looks like we are going to finally get some real reveals here. We've got a generator here. But we don't have a downward. Let's see. We don't have any blood, we can't do anything. Come on. So if we die here, what happens? So far, this has not happened in any of the game. Is that Garcian has never died. Yeah. So you do have to just begin from a save point at that point. Which would be this save point. We'll just have to see how much we can skip. Two. Like pressing start once here very possibly is going to skip a little bit, and this will skip a little bit more, and then seems like we'll have to see that and skip that. Then the forbidden room does just seem like a memory, and skip that. This is a lot of skipping. My general assumption is that something Garcian died in the hotel, and going back to this hotel is going to start revealing things, but seems kind of ridiculous to set us up so badly that we can't teleport. Let's go to reception here. Just gonna run. We'll just go to the second floor and run, and then just hope that that can get us to a harm room. There is a harm room here, good. And we'll just recover some health. Waking up anybody else, though, may also be a problem, though, because we may have to kill a certain point. It's dark, the prospects are so very dark. I feel a dull tide of despair. This sure is to mean something. My old intuition speaks to me. You're surrounded by vicious traps. Perhaps this has gone far enough. Any more of this and you'll take years off your life. Leave it to the Hellion. In the name of Harman. Right. Which way? Which way is the right way? This isn't gonna work. There's a tree thing blocking the way. There we go. Of course, the problem here is we still potentially can't save it all. And because if Samantha's gone, there goes our saving. And we may just have to fight through this whole experience. See what he has to say about the steward. We're in a tight spot. The maid straight up disappeared. When things go wrong, the superior takes up the slack, introducing the butler. Gary Wanderers. A dedicated 50-year career veteran. You'll have to make him do with him until a new maid can be found in the name of Harman. Alright. So. Might as well create some serum while we're here.
Don't make me say it again.
Maybe.
Seems like we can play as Dan right now.
Maybe.
So now we have some safety in that. And then we want to just see if maybe
I've changed my makeup. Did you notice?
she's awake too.
Maybe.
She's just in black, he's in black. He's awake. He's awake.
Later.
Peace.
He's awake.
I'm not a monster, it's only a mask.
He's awake. And his vitality really does just seem like way higher now than most of the characters.
Maybe.
So there really is an argument to play as Master Smith.
I'm a cleaner.
Let's see. We can see Garcian's health at the moment is right in between the white button, and when we
I'm not a monster,
look
it's only a
here,
mask.
his health is well past the red button at the bottom of the screen. We don't have anything for the 8th, 9th, for the 9th, 10th, and 11th position. Okay. Well, the game is now playable. We'll want to go all the way to the end of the second floor. Then obviously we need to go back to the first floor and get the soul shell and do Kaede. There was a save spot that I was just supposed to rush to. I bet there are 7 floors if I was just to pick a random number at Hotel Union. Maybe the name Hotel Union is also a hint as far as that all the personalities may become unionized. We don't have a target here at all, no photo. The stamina rings are all at the bottom. As far as the memos, I think there probably is one more memo in the game. And all the Smiths are awake. Master Smith has yet a 3rd appearance, and there's just a real obsession with different wrestling mask appearances. That definitely gets reinforced in No More Heroes also. In fact, you can see a lot of the obsessions that Travis Touchdown has in No More Heroes being played out amongst the different characters in killer7, which pretty much just says they're obsessions that Suda 51 has, with being obsessed with anime and anime type things like Power Rangers, being obsessed with wrestling. It is questionable whether we would get everything up to level 4. It's unlikely, I think, unless we just start getting a ridiculous amount of thick blood, that we would get everything up to level 5. But getting Kaede up to level 5 definitely seems like our main focus. And then after that, it would just be getting Dan up to level 4. Of course, if we can get, at the end of the game, Dan up to level 5, where he has his critical lock, then I would probably just always play as Dan. Kevin still doesn't really play well enough that you would want to do a new game plus and play as him with the knives. Coyote same thing. You really wouldn't want to play with him. Kon, you really wouldn't want to play with. And unless there was a new game plus that doubled the number of enemies. And then maybe Kon with his double guns might make some sense there. Master Smith at higher power levels probably wouldn't even be that much different than what he is right now, because he's already pretty powerful. He's slow with his one shot, so you definitely have to hit your target. But that's about the only real limitation there. As long as you do get a hit on the target and his reload is high enough, you can take out almost every enemy, except for the enemies that have specific elements that you have to meet to defeat. And usually Master Smith is can still get around those types of enemies. Well, we definitely have some different music playing now, but it has been an hour, so that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend to follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. And if you want to support me further, there's a link to Patreon, or you can friend me on Steam and gift me a game off my wishlist. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.